Hello everyone, I am Jason Bjorklund of the Iowa Golf Association, and as always, thanks for taking some time out of your day to view a tutorial video. This segment is going to focus on the GHP Handicap Program software version, specifically the management side of the program, and rapid score entry and preference management will be our focuses in this short segment. To start, I'm going to go ahead and open up our management side of the program, and as we're well aware by now, it's password protected. I say OK, and we're into our home screen. And we're first going to talk about rapid score entry. Well, when would you use rapid score entry, or when would it become useful for you? And the answer would be anytime you, as a committee person or administrator or employee, has a large amount of scorecards to post for either an event or a league night at your club, or maybe you have a Dropbox where players can drop their scores and you're responsible for posting them. Rapid score entry can save you a lot of time. You certainly can use the public side, the GHP score entry, and one by one select the golfer, answer the questions of when they played, where set of tees, home or away, and all that. But rapid score entry is going to give you a much better option. So we'll go ahead and open this. And for our example, let's say we had a weekend of play and we had a Dropbox. So we have different golfers, male and female. We've had different days, and we had different sets of tees being played. So a random assortment here of our stack of scorecards. We need to get our settings in line for that. So we're going to say use the same date for all rounds. Well, no, we don't want that. We don't want to use today's date either. So we got no and no there. Entry method is a member, and find player method, player name. Keep those. That's going to stay as constant. For our example here, we'll leave it at equitable stroke control as a way of posting our scores, meaning we'll enter the whole number. We'll be responsible for applying any deductions for ESC. Use the same score type for all rounds. No, we'll leave that. We don't want to use that as well. And then tee played. Use the same tee for all rounds. We do not want that as well. We have different golfers playing different sets of tees. So I'm going to change that to a no. Change that to a no. And get that to where it says no there as well. So now we go ahead here. I can find my first player. Maybe the first card is Gary's. And by looking at it, I can see the date he played on it. I have the flexibility of changing it. August 12th, his was a home score, and he circled the white tees on the card. So I can go ahead and post that score for him. Move on to my next card. Al's card is up next. His card was dated August 13th. It was a home round as well, but he played from the black set of tees. Once I got those settings in, I can go ahead and enter the score and move right on. So by saying no to the same date, no to everybody using the same tees, I have the flexibility to change those settings. If I would have said yes to the same date, where I could say use today's date or a date I've entered in, that would be grayed out with the date selected. And if I would have said yes to the same set of tees, that's fine, but it's going to be locked out for that setting. Then all golfers are going to be posting to that one set of tees. So if you have a tournament or a league night where they're all playing from one set of tees, go ahead and lock that in with same date and same tee, because then all you'll have to answer is find the golfer, move down to the score, post, and continue on. The key is to get your settings properly in line before going on and working through your set of scores to post. The second thing we're going to talk about here is the Preference Management tab, and this gives you a lot of the look and the feel of how you are asking golfers to post their scores on the public side of the program. We see that the Score Entry tab is the top one on the left, and as I said in the first video we did for this, when we covered the public side of Score Entry, I like to have the golfer answer the questions of when did they play, and they see a calendar, what tee did they play and what type of round was it, meaning was it a home score, an away score, etc. And to get that prompting in place, under the score entry tab, you'll see a score entry wizard line, and I have prompt for date, prompt for tee, and prompt for type all checked yes. If I click in here and uncheck that to say no for prompt for date, it moves right on to the next thing and assumes the golfer has played on the date currently being posted. You can certainly do that. The screen right before posting will show all the information, and if a golfer did play on a different day, then they could click the date, get the calendar, and change it. But I like to prompt them for it because it will walk them right through it, and it gives you the highest probability of getting the information correct for posting a score. The score entry method is another thing I'll highlight here. You can see my setting is for player right now, but if I click in there, I have a drop down of ESC, hole by hole, or choice as well. If I were to select ESC, this would say that my entire club of golfers is going to post their scores via ESC, saying they are going to post the total score, 78, 82, whatever it is, and they're responsible to make the proper adjustment before posting that score. Hole by hole, exactly as it sounds. Each golfer who posts a score is going to get a scorecard from the course. They can just put in 456, 555 down the line, and those scores will be adjusted for ESC by the computer. So it does take a little bit of the responsibility of making the ESC adjustment for the golfers there. The player method, or option, I'll click save there, is reading from the player management side, and whatever the setting is in the method, you can see here Clint, for example, in my club, is an ESC player, and Al is an ESC as well. If it says player in your preference management, it's reading whatever that individual's setting is configured to in player management. So you have a few options there. Most of the time I see clubs are all ESC or all hole by hole, but you can certainly make it player specific, or you can give them the choice as well, to where each time a golfer comes up they can say, how would you like to post this score, ESC or hole by hole. You're getting to the same total, it's just a couple of different ways to do it. So in our management tab at the top, the second one there, you can see our system password is kept within here. So your GHP password that you use to get into management and out of score entry is controlled right here. If it's time you think too many people know that standard default password and you want to change it, just open up your management tab, click within it, and you'll see a browse button on the far right. We'll click that. We can simply enter in our existing password, our new password, and confirm, say OK. Don't worry about ultimately forgetting your password. Our staff at the Iowa Golf Association can always help you out in retrieving a password for you. So, finally, under the Communications tab at the top, this was covered in our first video, and I would highly recommend you watch it for the information on transmitting alone if you have not done so. But this is a little bit redundant, but you'll see in the Communications tab, this is where I have it set up to transmit on the intervals that I have selected, which is twice a day at 6:05 a.m. and 9 o'clock p.m. With this setting set up like this, down to my system tray, my icon of cords that look like they're plugged into one another is my auto transmit feature. Hovering over that, I'll see when I'm next scheduled to auto transmit. 2/11/2014 at 9 o'clock p.m., which is the next time up on my scheduled auto transmission. If you do not have your auto transmit feature icon running down here, I would first recommend doing a restart of your computer. If the icon is still not there, please give the IGA a call and we'll help you prompt that auto feature back into your system tray so you can be assured that your program is transmitting regularly twice a day. The first video will tell you why I prefer twice a day over the other options of daily, hourly, or weekly. Weekly is certainly not a good option. You want to be transmitting daily, or excuse me, twice a day, morning and night, to ensure that you have the most current records, especially on handicap revision days. You want to make sure that when a golfer sees their handicap index on the 1st and the 15th, that you know they're seeing their current one and not the old one because you haven't updated records yet. So that concludes this short segment. If you have any questions on rapid score entry or anything in the preference management that we covered or anything not covered in the preference management, please feel free to give the IGA staff a call at any time. We'll be happy to assist. Thank you.